Hey, I need you guys to get in and close this up. Get in closer. All right, quiet. So listen, something you need to know about me. The three most important people in my life, aside from my parents, are my three biggest coaches: Dave Salo, Nort Thornton, Mike Bottom. Today, Nort Thornton died. So, one of the top three most important people in my life, aside from my parents. My club coach and my two college coaches. Nort Thornton is a legend. Most of you guys probably don't know who he is. That's fine, you don't need to. Nort Thornton coached Cal for like 50 years. He won back-to-back titles in 1979 and 1980. He put Cal on the map. He built the platform for the continuing greatness of Cal Aquatics to this day. Right? Nort was old school, but he was always learning, and he changed throughout the years. I had 2 phone calls today after I found out that Nort had passed. The first call was Mike Bottom, my other coach. He called me, and we talked a little bit about Nort, about the lasting impact that he had on me and the other swimmers that swam for his programs. And I got some perspective from the associate head coach's standpoint that I hadn't heard before, which was welcomed, valued, in that it is valuable. This next person I talked to is Dave Salo. I called him. He hadn't heard. I told him about Nort's passing, and we shared some stories as well. It was interesting. Without these 3 people, I wouldn't be coaching. Right? It's not a coincidence that the 3 most important people in my life are coaches, and I was drawn to coaching. Right? Clearly, not a coincidence. So, in order for me to be exposed to Nort and Mike Bottom, first I had to get to Cal. And I never would have gotten to Cal if it wasn't for Dave Salo. And not for the reasons you might think. Because, ooh, I swam for Nova. Oh, Nova's so fast. Get out of here. The reason that I got to Cal was because after a disappointing last season meet, my senior year in high school, at practice with all my friends getting ready for nationals, a meet for which I did not qualify. And I should say, disappointing meet. I dropped half a second in my 100 back. Went from a 51, like a 52 low to a 51.6. You know, whatever. Not good enough. Not good enough. But, you know, I convinced myself I should have feel good about it because you know how it is. The best time is the best time. It wasn't as fast as I wanted to go, but it was as fast as I had ever gone. So I'm at practice. Everybody else trained for nationals. Dave pulls me out of the pool. Dave does not pull people out of the pool. I told him about this today. It was very weird for me being out of the pool. Because when you're at practice, you're training. You're not on deck. You're not talking. You're not stopping. You're training. So it's very, very strange to be pulled out of the pool by the coach to have a conversation. You know, I'd be lucky throughout the course of a practice if Dave said 24 words to me. We have 50 people in the pool, 2 coaches. One guy was mostly paying attention to the long freestylers. That obviously was not me most of the time. You've seen my freestyle. So Dave pulls me out. I still remember exactly where I was standing. And I told him this morning. And he had a conversation with me about leadership, about the fact that there was a junior national meet. I was 18. I was as old as you could be for juniors. It's a junior national meet coming up. Young team. Not a lot of experience on the team. Team needed leadership. Leadership in the water. Leadership out of the water. Jeff, I really need you to go to this meet to show these boys how to do it. I knew it was a bunch of nonsense, but he talked me into it. Go home that night, Tell my parents, hey, Dave wants me to go to juniors. Okay, you're going to juniors. I go to juniors with nothing to lose. Warmed up for the 100 back. 20 yards full speed off every wall for 6 of them with as much rest as I wanted. I don't know why I did that. It was different. I hadn't even figured out how to kick on my side yet. So air's coming out of my nose the whole time. Ridiculous. Swim the race. 51-1. Oh, look at that. Another half second. Not bad. Not bad. I just dropped half a second a couple weeks ago. Hey, that's pretty good. Feeling okay about that, walking around the pool. Run into my buddy, John Hanna. Swam for Industry Hills Aquatics. We used to be, now it's part of Armada. Jeff, whoa, what a great swim. That was awesome. You killed it. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, it was pretty good time. Thanks. It's like, no, that was great, man. That was amazing. I'd never seen, that's so cool. You must be. I'm like, all right, cool. Thanks, bro. We'll go warm down now. Start walking away. Something's not right. He's too excited. Oh, John, what was my time? You went 50.1, man, 50.1. 50.1. I thought I went 51.1 because I didn't believe I could go 50.1. But I did. Whole new world. I figured something out. This kicking thing. This is valuable. Let's think about this. Let's come back tonight. Let's do it again. Come back at night. Feeling good about myself. Top seed. Got some Metallica playing. Walk out. By the way, Alaska loves Metallica. If you're ever swimming in Alaska and you want to feel like everybody loves you, walk out to Metallica. They'll go nuts. They didn't know who I was, but they know who Metallica is. Come out, swim the race. 49.5. 49.5. I went into the meet 51.6. That was my best time from like 2 weeks ago. My coach knew something I didn't. You know, you swim, you think too much. You set your limits based on your own experience, based on what you think you know about yourself. You maybe prevent yourself from learning something that you didn't know about yourself. After that swim, 49.5, walking to the warm down pool, assistant coach. My head coach wasn't even at this meet. Assistant coach, I didn't even like this guy. Assistant coach, hey Jeff, interested in Cal? Got the coaches on the phone. They want to bring you out on a trip. Went to Cal. Met Nort, met Mike. First year, I trained all with Nort. By the way, before I went to Cal, they came and met me at the airport with my parents. We went and had some lunch. They obviously were in town recruiting somebody else and they slipped me in at the end. It's all good. Had a conversation, talked to them. Look, coaches, love to go to Cal. Really excited, but I don't want to just be a 100 backstroker. Are we going to work on my 200? I suck at the 200. We're going to work on that? Yeah, we want to develop you, make you a 100, 200 backstroker. For sure. Went out there freshman year. Only worked with Nort my first semester. Only Nort. First week of practice, we have a meeting with somebody who knows a thing or two about fluid dynamics, biomechanics. And he's going through some really basic things about body position and drag. I'm looking at this. This guy is talking in basic physics terms, a cerebral approach to swimming that I had not yet been exposed to. But it made me realize there was a lot more to learn. After that meeting, go up to Nort. Nort coach Matt Biondi. Matt Biondi, you guys have probably heard of Michael Phelps. Maybe some of you have heard of Matt Biondi. Matt Biondi was voted #1 swimmer of the last century. 100 years. Nort coached him. Nort knows a thing or two. He's seen a thing or two. He's been around the block. Coached a lot of people. Go up to Nort after this meeting. Coach, look, I really want to get better. But I understand now that for me to improve, I need to completely rebuild my stroke from scratch. It's what I've been doing now. It's gotten me here. It's not going to get me any farther. I understood that in that moment. Nort, is a guy, he knows a lot, he knows so much, and he's seen so many people, he's not going to waste his time on people who don't want to change. Unfortunately, I stumbled across this fact early. Nort, I need to rebuild my stroke if I want to get better. Let's do it. That's what he says. We started. After practice, lane lines came out, tied strings around a belt, walked me up and down the deck, turning my hip like Pinocchio. Changed the timing on my backstroke completely. My freshman year, I dropped 7 seconds in my 200 backstroke. 153, 146. Went from being terribly slow to respectably fast. My freshman year, I missed qualifying for NCAAs by 0.3 of a second. Almost made it. But it was enough to get me excited, to realize that there was a lot more potential out there, okay? So I had a conversation with my old coaches, with Mike. And one of the things we talked about was, he told me some things that I didn't know. He told me that he and Nort had a lot of conversations about me. I swam on a team with Olympians, with Olympic gold medalists, NCAA record holders. But they talked about me. They were paying for my books. I didn't get any money. I got in the door. That's what swimming did for me. It got me in the door. It allowed me to level up. It allowed me to be with Nort, to be with Mike. And one of the things that Mike was telling me about today was just felt really good, you know? We talked about you a lot. We used to laugh about you. Oh, Jeff Natalizio. Yeah, Nort used to say that he really liked what I brought to the team. Not in terms of talents. He literally said that. Not in terms of talents. But in terms of just something else. We used to laugh at the way you looked after we did hard sets. He used a John Urbanchek term, which I used with Regal on, what was that day we did 2050s? Was that Tuesday? Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. Purple sets. Sets where the intensity is such that it makes your face turn purple. We used to laugh about you when you did those purple sets. I had one of the second highest lactate levels on the team. So that means everything hurt a lot, right? I guarantee, Bermudas, you're one of these people, right? People control you. I know, it hurts more. I get it. They used to laugh about me. But even though I was like just barely in the door on that team, they appreciated what I brought to the squad in terms of work ethic, in terms of supporting the team. This is the most important award I've ever gotten in my life. This is the Coach's Award that Nort and Mike gave me my senior year. Because a guy like me doesn't get any other awards. You either show up and you add value, and if you do that consistently enough, Coach will give you this award, which in my opinion is the most meaningful award you can get, because it rewards those who don't earn the other kinds of awards. I still have this, I'll always have this. But more important than this is my experience learning with these guys on the team. I had another conversation today with Anthony. For those of you who don't know who Anthony is, Anthony Irvin won the gold medal in the 50 in 2000 and then again in 2016. Totally different side of the spectrum than me. Totally opposite side of the spectrum. He told me a story that was equally impactful for him. His freshman year, before he had won any gold medals, he was just a guy that didn't really want to be swimming. A lot of talent, obviously, didn't really want to be swimming. Missed a lot of practice. His plan was to quit after his freshman year. Like me, he used swimming to get in the door, but he didn't actually want to swim. He wanted to get an engineering degree. That's what he wanted to do. So Nort had it with Anthony. Had it. Missed so many practices. Nort wanted to kick him off the team. Nort doesn't show his emotions a lot. He's a very subdued guy, very stoic, soft-spoken. But when he does on court, he can go nuts. I've seen him do this on a couple of occasions. So he was getting ready for one of these big, thunderous, atomic Thornton tirades that usually ends in somebody getting gone, because that's the only time he really explodes. So he's getting ready to unload this on the team, getting ready to unload this on Anthony specifically. And as he's getting ready to do so, he looks at Mike. Mike is watching Anthony swim. And he sees something in Mike's face that makes him pause. And he looks at Anthony the way Mike's looking at Anthony. And he just looks at him for a minute. He turns to Mike, he says, "Hey, this kid really means something to you, doesn't he?" Mike says, "Yeah, he does." And Nort just de-escalated, didn't say anything, decided in that moment to trust his assistant coach, his associate head coach. And Anthony went on to do what Anthony went on to do. So I'm trying to give you very briefly the full spectrum of the kind of life in coaching that Nort Thornton lived, where he could communicate with swimmers, with athletes, where he understood that the team is greater than one athlete, and also where he could understand to trust the people that he had around him that were put in a position of responsibility. And that is how you manufacture perpetual greatness in a team. Nort Thornton is a guy who's going to be incredibly missed by a lot of people. And I can tell you right now, if there's a heaven and Nort goes there, he is going to be coaching. And if I make it there, I am going to be on his team. This is the man that died today, Nort Thornton, my coach, many people's coaches. All right? I wanted to share that with you guys. And that's it. So sounds like they wrapped up in there. So let's gather our stuff up. Let's take it inside. Let's get ready to go swim. Do you even listen to the Ramones?
No.
Man, you people
I
are all
listen to
such posers.
I listen to Sublime.
Do you even know this song?
No.
Rockaway Beach?
No.
Rock, rock, Rockaway Beach. Come on.